Good day, ako po si Patricia Faith Tison at ang aking report ay tungkol sa treatment of homosexual.
Treatments of homosexuality. Individual counseling therapy, which means to provide a wholesome attitude, warm, and non-critical atmosphere for the homosexual or gay. Those who will attempt to help must establish a conducive climate for him at home, in church, or in the community, which means that you should welcome said LGBTQ member without any judgment that could cloud your however you treat them. Number 2, group therapy. Group therapy is a session which helps the gays focus on social interpersonal relationships. This helps them gain confidence in their ability to relate with the opposite sex. This is where we get to gather a group of people which shall not exclude with just gays and will absolutely include any classifications of anyone in the LGBT and allies, so that connections can be used for the betterment of the psyche of the gay person and or the member of the community. Number 3, psychotherapy. Psychotherapy is a form of treatment by psychological means. This is effective only if the individual has basic value structure of moral code in which motivations for change can be based. This one's tricky. Psychotherapy is done so that the psyche of the member can be motivated more for a much more positive encouragement from the society, for they are still human and should be welcome. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Delma Sanaventura, and I will be the last reporter from Group 3, where I will be continuing about the treatments of homosexuality. Hypnotherapy. Hypnotherapy is the process whereby the therapist helps the homosexual utilize their own mental association, memories, and life potentials to achieve their own therapeutic goals. A hypnotherapist will use relaxation techniques to help you reach a state where your conscious part of your mind is more relaxed and your subconscious part of your mind would be more open for suggestion. They will then use suggestion techniques where they talk to your subconsciousness to help encourage the change that you are looking for. During hypnotherapy, you will be guided by a hypnotherapist to visualize yourself in a state of peacefulness and relaxation, even when confronting a problematic behavior or the object of your fears. Your hypnotherapist may make gentle suggestions for behavior changes that can help you conquer your issues. You may also be taught certain cognitive behavioral coping skills, such as guided imagery and the STOP technique, that you can use when confronting with your issues. You may even be encouraged to talk about the first time you experienced the behavior or problem that you're trying to overcome and how you felt at that moment. Last is self-realization. It is the process in which helps the homosexual develops the ability to accept his homosexuality and to be more comfortable with it. The values have to be clarified, the principles spelled out, and priorities ranked accordingly. These variables would help individual in his way of life, choices, decisions, and interaction with people. Self-realization is the intuitive understanding of self. It is also an ideal way to reconnect with oneself. It is a journey of self-exploration through awareness and recognition of individual's potential. You are unable to know your real self because your mind is full of false hope and beliefs and irrational thoughts that could cloud our perceptions of reality. So self-realization will begin with self-inquiry, where you will begin to inquire and ask questions about yourself, such as who am I and what is my purpose. Second would be self-discovery, where in this stage you will be able to analyze your strength, and weaknesses. Third will be self-awareness, because awareness comes from self-discovery. This is when you become aware, you know what to do to tap your potentials. It leads to the next stage called self-acceptance. Self-acceptance is where you accept yourself as you are. You start to accept yourself as a potential being who is capable of fulfilling everything in dedication and hard work. Self-acceptance helps you to meet your real self. Next is self-empowerment. It is the knowledge that guides you towards a purposeful life, where you recognize your ability to live a normal and genuine state of happiness and peace. Sixth is self-love. It is when you start to show compassion toward yourself. You become strong and complete from within. You develop self-validation, which also nurtures self-esteem and confidence. Seventh would be self-respect. This comes when you're comfortable with your inner world. You realize your worth by considering your strength and work on your weaknesses. Self-respect is all about valuing yourself as the way you are. And then self-transformation. In this stage, you let go of old emotional patterns and shed off those habits and belief systems that acted as impediments of self-realization. Next is self-mastery. Just like Carl Jung said, that self-mastery is the alignment of body, mind, duality with the oneness of the soul. You have controlled and mastered your false ego. With transformation and mastery, you enter the stage of realization. Here, your ego and false beliefs would no longer obscure thoughts and feelings. There is a clarity in understanding who you are, and you have moved away from labels such as me, I, and mine.
So, good evening everyone. I am Veronica Gloria V. Garcia, and I am tasked to tackle about the biblical perspective of homosexuality. Okay, so first let us read the Leviticus 18 verse 22 and chapter 20 verse 13. So, in chapter 18 verse 22 it says that you shall not lie with a male as with a woman, it is an abomination. While in verse 20 verse 13, or chapter 20 verse 13 rather, if a man lies with male as with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death, their blood is upon them. This is in the English Standard Version. That is in the book or in the Old Testament. While in the New Testament, Paul said, or yes, Paul write that in Romans 1 verse 32 that it is worthy of death. So, it is clearly stated in the Bible that homosexuality is a sin, and God hates or abhors the homosexual behavior. So, let us know what is homosexual behavior and homosexual attraction. Homosexual behavior is what we call, or it is called an active sin, while homosexual attraction is a passive condition of being tempted. So we can say it that it is a temptation. So temptation is never a sin, but temptation or falling into temptation is a sin. Homosexual attraction is not always an active or willful sin, but still it is rooted in our fallen nature or our sinful nature. So again, it is clearly stated in the Bible that it is a sin. So, and oftentimes this view leads to disconnection or controversy or even hostility. So there are justifications and claims about what I read earlier in the book of Leviticus, chapter 18 verse 22 and chapter 20 verse 13. So some homosexual apologists claim that the Bible does not refer it as homosexuality, but it refers to pedophilia. So they claim that the translation should be boy, not male. The Hebrew word for male is zakar, and zakar means, in the Strong's dictionary definition, it defined as male, man, the gender of species that is not female, with no focus on the age or stage of life. So it means that it is irrespective of age. While in the chapter 20 verse 13, male, the word male or man is mentioned twice. So In Hebrew, there are two words for male, and the most common word is ish, and the second most common word is zakar, which has the same meaning. They have the same meaning. So it is clearly stated that what does God mean, or what does the Bible mean, is homosexuality. So another stand for that is in CSB version, or in Leviticus 20 verse 13. If a man sleeps with a man as with a woman, they have both committed a detestable act. They must be put to death. Their death is their own fault. So, if it is pedophilia, then why would God condemn a child? So, it is another point of view, or another stand regarding that issue. So, it can be also referred to pedophilia, but can also be referred to homosexuality. So the question will be, does God hate homosexuals or gay? So we can read in Psalms 5:5, it says that God hates evildoers. So the Bible does not describe homosexuality as a greater sin than any other. All sin is offensive to God. And it also says in the Bible that we have all sinned. All of us have sinned in Romans 3:23 and Romans 6:23. And we fall short. But it does not mean that the Bible approves homosexual acts. Homosexuality is the result of continuous rebellion, or disobeying, or denying God. But God is offering forgiveness through Jesus Christ, His Son. So, does God approve homosexuality? No. So, do we have the right to condemn them? No, because in Ephesians 4 verse 15 says that we should speak the truth in love. In 1 Peter chapter 3 verse 15, that we should speak with gentleness and respect. So this is not the opinion of man, but the clear teaching of the Word of God. So that's all. Thank you for listening.
So that would be all for our report about homosexuality. Just a disclaimer, the views and opinions that was reported today does not reflect on the views and opinions of the reporters. Thank you.